I think Daniel Radcliffe should play Wolverine. What's up, everybody? Yeah, we're gonna talk today about Horns, the newest film from Alexandre Aja. Of course, he did the Hills Have Eyes remake, High Tension, Mirrors, Piranha 3D. He produced the Maniac remake, and the story on Horns is based on a novel by Joe Hill. And when I looked up Joe Hill, it turns out it's Stephen King's grown-up son. So it's kind of a Stephen King-ish sort of story. Basically, Daniel Radcliffe wakes up one day and he's accused of killing his girlfriend, and he goes on the hunt to find out either who killed her or what the hell happened because he doesn't remember. And at the same time, he's growing horns out of his head. And I don't want to go too much into it because that's the fun of the story. Let's get into the good and the bad. First of all, I thought it was pretty funny. I saw a couple of quirky films this year. I did a review for John Dies in the End. I wasn't too impressed by that film. Had that quirky vibe. I watched Odd Thomas, of course, based on another book. I didn't think that one was that great. It was better than John Dies in the End. But I think this was the best of the three of them. Now that I said that, I feel a little better. Like when he goes around people, he kind of inhibits their inhibitions, and they say all this crazy stuff, and that plays out to be pretty freaking funny. Probably the best parts of the movie, at least the parts I like the best. And, you know, it looks pretty cool, the little horns when he's walking around town. And the way eventually his character develops, I really liked the way it looked in the end. I thought it looked freaking cool. I had seen some stills of the movie. I thought it was going to be cheesy, but at the end, when he fully transformed, pretty cool looking, definitely. And it did have some other good acting scenes mixed in. Daniel Radcliffe's not that bad of an actor. Movie confession, I've never seen any of the Harry Potter movies, so I don't really have anything to base him on, besides A Woman in Black, which I didn't like. I liked him in this movie. He was a good, likable main character. And he had a couple good scenes, like I said, with some other actors you've seen in other stuff. So let's get into what I didn't like about it. There was definitely a few things, maybe a little cheesy at some points. Yeah, I didn't mind it. It's kind of like a fairy tale, so you got to take it with that sort of perspective. That's the way I feel. You can't take it too seriously. It's a guy walking around with horns on his head, and they do play to the comedy, so that's one thing. There's a part also, too, where he kind of gets possession maybe of some snakes, and, you know, he's walking around with a snake around his neck. That looked a little cheesy. That might have been pushing it. Probably sounded a lot better in the book. And the biggest complaint I had, besides it being all over the place, because, you know, it's trying to be funny, horror, not very scary, but it is interesting. The biggest complaint I had was I just wasn't buying the characters. There's another bad guy besides Daniel Radcliffe, and I just wasn't buying the other bad guy, really. His motives seemed kind of weak. I don't know. Him and the girlfriend, I wasn't buying her character too much, the purity of her. I was just like, really? There's some flashback scenes that didn't really fit in 100%, so there was definitely some problems. A good film for Halloween, definitely. One of the more original films I've seen this year. Wasn't sure where it was going to go for sure. I had only seen some stills. I hadn't even seen a trailer, so I ended up liking it. 3.5 out of 5. Not the greatest. Like I said, a little all over the place. Definitely check it out. Alexandre Aja, the rest of his work, you know, I probably like the Hills Have Eyes remake the best, to tell you the truth. I remember liking High Tension, but it's been a long time. So that's my thoughts on Horns. Tell me what you thought down below if you've seen it. Think Daniel Radcliffe will make a good Wolverine? Kind of joking, kind of not. He's like short and kind of got the facial hair, so I don't know. And have a happy Halloween, because I probably won't see you before then.